So where you from? Ukraine? Oh, what is that? Is this country all about? What is happening? Why sex is everywhere? Oh my God, this is a bad country. I was trembling. I was like this. I'm like, I'm so sorry. What is this region? What is here? What is here? The people looked at me like, what's wrong with you? In America, from the background, they can take you as an actress. They liked how you look. Come. In England, if you want to be an actor, you have to study at home. With my mom, with my parents, I always was a very good girl. I was cleaning and cooking and washing and ironing, which I met, and somebody nearly got me to do escort. But thanks God I have brains and some other understanding. A lot of Ukrainians that I met, they were illegal,
yes.
And I was legal. And
there was a differentiality.
Yeah, we had already gap. So I started to feel like England a little bit like protecting me, you know?
Identity Talks episode 10. Today's guest is Yuliya Fytsaylo. Interesting guest because she lives in London for more than 20 something years, right?
21 years.
21 years. Okay, fine. Let me do a little intro for you because I usually do intros for all my guests. And then you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. So my guest today is Yuliya Fytsaylo, a Ukrainian who has lived in the UK for over 21 years and works inside the British media and advertising. She's not just part of the creative world, she's been behind the camera in production and inside the decision-making spaces where stories are shaped. Yuliya has experienced life as an immigrant long before Ukrainians became visible in the British media. That makes her perspective different. Not emotional, not theoretical, but informed by years of navigating identity creativity and power inside the system. This conversation isn't about inspiration, it's about how identity is formed, filtered, and sometimes erased. So.
Wow.
Is it good?
It is quite good.
Okay. I did a lot of research. I had to go to your LinkedIn, I had to go to your Instagram, I had to find you on Facebook. I had to go through all your, interviews that you recently had, obviously in the Ukrainian diaspora. But for me to format it in English was a bit difficult unless I was going onto LinkedIn and I found a few pictures of you on Facebook. Great, wonderful. So we can start now. I got a few topics to talk to you about, but mainly I'm interested in you living here in the UK. And some of the questions I like to go through with you is, let me ask you, just before you came to UK, tell me a little bit of your story from Ukraine to the point when you decided to come to UK.
First of all, I would like to say thank you very much, Alex, that you invited me. And your intro kind of was like a heart opener, like crack. I feel like I'm seen and now I'm going to be heard. It's like very therapeutic, I would say, because all my life I've been really secluded. I didn't tell no one my story. I was never getting out there, even though I'm doing the media, but I'm doing media for someone else, not for myself. Mm-hmm. The question was, what did I do? How did I end up being
But
here?
you said all these years you never had that, you kind of lived in seclusion. But I think it's time. This is one of the reasons why I open up this podcast in English. I want Ukrainians like yourself that have been here for many years before the Ukrainians that have just arrived here. I want Ukrainians all over the world, but I think I want people like yourself to come out and you have a voice. You've done some amazing things in the UK and you've done it without the backing of your own community or the backing of, let's say, Eastern Europeans, because I think when you came here, it was very difficult for you to find Eastern Europeans. When I mean Eastern Europeans, like Latvian, Lithuanians, Polish, Ukrainians, Belarusian, Russians at that time, it was very difficult, and even if you found one, walking down the street and let's say they spoke Ukrainian, you're like, what? Really? You spoke Ukrainian? You come up to them, you probably hug them and talk to them. Now it's different. You walk around anywhere in London, you'll find a Ukrainian like that. Not only that, Telegram, Facebook, social media, bloggers. But back then you didn't have bloggers. It's not like you went on social media back then and a blogger in your own language in Ukrainian here in the UK was telling you, this is where you find this is how you do this is how you do that. There was no such of, how can I say, I don't know, not intimacy, but information.
No.
Before, you had to find everything yourself. Everything.
Yes, before I felt so super lonely. I felt like one of the kind here. And every time when people ask, well, where are you from? And clearly I had an accent. And even now, I still have an accent. And they would intimidating me, saying, so where are you from? Ukraine? Oh, what is that? I say, it's Ukraine. We have our own food, our own traditions, our own singing. I do songs as well. So by that time, I already, in Ukraine, I did a Червона Рута festival. And I wrote the song, so because I play the guitar as well and I sing. And by that time, I already had some exposure, the media in Ukraine. So I was getting a little bit, famous in Ukrainian prostor, in Ukrainian space, media space. So I made a song within 10 minutes in order to participate in Ukrainian competition, the song competition. I did not have Ukrainian songs for some reason. I just started to play the guitar and I didn't know anything. I sang other languages, but not Ukrainian for some reason. So when the people ask me here, so what is Ukraine? I'm like, how come? And my heart is actually singing in Ukrainian, to be honest. My first language and my school was in other language. I'm not going to say
Russian.
which one. Yes. And then in my uni, I was speaking Ukrainian. And when I came to UK, my actual first interaction with Ukrainian people, it was a singing in the church. And they were predominantly from western part of Ukraine. And where I'm from, we spoke a little bit of Russian, a little bit Ukrainian.
Where are you from? Where are you from in Ukraine?
Vinnytsia.
You're from the west.
Oh, it's just like a center. It's called center.
West Central, you could say. But yeah.
It's a lot of Russian influence there, like schools. I even asked my mom. I said, Mom, how come we are Ukrainians and we have so many Russian schools, you know? And I went into one because my grandma liked it. So I have like both of it, or both of the languages as my favorite. So I'm like, it's really super sad for me what's happening right now. For many different various reasons, because by being outside, by living in the English-speaking surroundings, I really liked that I could speak several languages, such as Russian, such as Ukrainian, that I could communicate, and a lot of people spoke Russian. So at least sometimes I could find some communities.
Common ground as well.
Yeah, some communities, the common ground that we can sort of work together. And they were never saying something, oh, you're like Ukrainians, or what are you doing here? We all kind of were Eastern Europeans. And it felt good. And now it's like for me being far away from home and and having that sort of community, that Eastern European, and now it's cutting apart. It's really sad for me. It's like, I don't know, on many, many levels. Obviously, for one thing, that Ukraine is suffering right now. But my personal thing is, I was growing up with Russian language. My soul sings in Ukrainian, and my emotions are connected to English because I was studying my favorite acting here. Because my father, when I was in Ukraine, my father wanted me to do the economics. So I have a master degree in foreign economic activities, right? So I always had this urge to go and to see what's behind the edge, yeah? the urge behind the urge, like, oh, what is there? What is there? I was always curious. And growing in the Ukrainian time when being outside of Ukraine or being outside of USSR, because I was small and of course my parents were telling me whatever and I've heard things. For me, England or any other country was like non-existent or like on another planet or like something really unreachable. So I think by being Ukrainian and really having a persistent nature in me, combined together with curiosity and this sort of border, like you can't go there. And I'm like, how come not? And once I was already on that side, I could not go back, I was like, no, I will persist.
So is that what happened when you came to UK for the first time? When you came here, you didn't want to go back?
No, I did. When the first time I came, I don't know, it's a really complex story about how I got here. I liked English language from 6 years old, probably even earlier because my father liked Pink Floyd and all that. I was like, what is this songs? Like an alien language that someone understands and even sings, right? So it gave me this curiosity buzz. And when my mom took me to the school at 6 years old, just to show me what is the school, the teachers, and there was a woman, the English teacher, and she said, "Oh, this is an English teacher." I'm like, "Wow, an English teacher!" And she taught me the poem. I call it poem. "Dear mommy, dear daddy, I love you. Dear mommy, dear daddy, do you love me too?" And I was ecstatic. 6 years old, I remember I walked on the street. I didn't walk. I was flying because I did something that nobody did, in a sense. Like nobody knew English at that moment, 6 years old, and I could say some poem. And then later in life, I asked some of my but somebody who was studying with me at university, she left traveling. I was like, wow, left traveling in the UK, in England. And she liked horses, so she worked somewhere with horses. I was like, wow, that's fascinating. We actually can go somewhere. So I said to my papa, oh, can you send me to UK? And he was just a governmental, clerk, worked, he didn't have his own business or anything like that. So we went to the agency and they said, do you have this? Do you have this amount of money? Do you have that? And my father was like, I'm sorry, daughter, I can't send you to UK. I can't send you to your London. And I was like, okay, don't worry. It will come. Because I had this ache, I don't know, some feeling. I told my father. And by the time, I was very good with English for some time, and then we had a very bad teacher. And then I had, all of a sudden, I developed a wall. I could not speak. I could not say anything. Hardly could hear. Okay, I could read. And I said to my papa, I turn to the right, I hear English. I turn to the left, I hear English. And I even constantly speak English. And I even write poems in English. I don't know what is going to happen. And it was so cute. And he's like, yeah. You dream, baby. You dream, girl, about this. I said, no problem. And I was studying a little bit we had governmental English courses, started to appear in Ukraine. And obviously I went there for additional education. I was ecstatic as well. And we've been asked, why are you learning English? And I was like, because I want to see the world and travel. And the more you know languages, the more you're a person. I don't know, it's Kotlяревsky or Kotsibinsky. I don't want to say which one. It's Ukrainian writer who spoke 12 languages. He said that. So, and about English, I lost the thread.
That's fine. Let me jump for you forward. Now, let's say, I know you came here for a little bit, then you went back to Ukraine because this is something we spoke before. I want to talk about when you officially already arrived to UK. What was it like growing up as a Ukrainian at that time in the UK, before the Ukrainians ever made the news right now, before 2022? What was it like when you're growing up here as a Ukrainian? What was it like for you here? Did you find Ukrainians? Did you find Eastern Europeans? How did you build your life here?
The first moment, it was like a naked terrain with spikes and emptiness, vast, and there was no common ground with any other nationalities. And I on the streets, like I lived probably 2-3 weeks in London, and I met a guy on the street that looked like my friend from Ukraine, and immediately I fell for that. Immediately the appearance tricked me, and he was Albanian, and then they stole me a little bit, and they put me in the car and they were driving around. It's good that somehow they were okay, probably, but it could have been worse. But it was like this need for familiarity. And it was crazy. I was like, wow, I should not be looking at this specifically. So then later I was very cautious. Even if somebody looked like my friend, I was like, okay, no. I would just stay separate.
You have to remember, you came here to UK very young, in early adulthood, yeah. It's a very... like Ukraine and UK, it's two different countries.
Two different countries, yeah, very different.
But did you know this when you came to UK that it's going to be a very different country, or you still lived in that prison thinking, wow, UK, great, wonderful?
No, coming back to the story, how I get. So anyway, I worked in Ukraine and somehow I end up receiving visa from government to come to Ukraine. It's not CCA or anything like that. Because I knew a little bit of English, and they opened the visa for me. And then I came for 5 days, and everything was very familiar to me. I felt like I'm gonna come back, or I'm gonna leave, or I've lived here before. Every corner was so familiar to me. I was shocked. I came to Trafalgar Square. I was like, oh my God, I know this place every inch. And that was my first time. Every road, I was like, oh, I'm driving here. Oh, I'm driving here. I'm walking here. What's happening? So when I came back, I finished my uni, and then I had 1 month left for visa. I'm like, Papa, Mama, I need to go.
So this is in Ukraine. You came back.
I came back to Ukraine
to finish university.
Yeah.
And then once you finish university, you remember that you still got 1 month of visa.
Yeah.
And this is when you decided to come back to UK.
Yes.
But you come to the UK for what? To study, to work?
To study, yeah. I said, look, I have this opportunity. I really wanted to come and see England, and I wanted to learn like language from the original speakers. And I have this opportunity now. So my parents, gathered all the money from neighbors, from relatives, from everyone, but just to send me for 1 month.
But you see, your parents, when they gathered all the money, because obviously it wasn't easy to gather money, because you have to understand that Hryvnia, at that time, Hryvnia to £1 was, like you said, it was 10 Hryvnia to £1. That's a lot of money.
Something like that, yeah.
What did your parents send you to UK? Just so you can study English and come back with your English language, which is very high, go back to Ukraine and start working in some international place? Or what was their thinking? Why would they send you to England by yourself?
I'm surprised because I never went even for the party anywhere. So... Can you imagine?
Wait. You didn't go to the party when? In Ukraine?
In Ukraine.
Okay.
I was so much at home, so much with parents. I was like a home person, I would go to uni, come back home. My parents would not let me go to the disco party, anywhere. like was very strict. And all of a sudden they trusted England and they let me go.
But why? Have you ever asked your parents why they let you to go to abroad?
I mean, at that point, I was already past 18 years old.
Okay.
And then my father obviously knew how much I wanted to go and he couldn't send me. And all of a sudden, he could not cut that opportunity for me. If I had 1 month of visa to England, he's like, wow, go, you know. So nobody had the second thought. Nobody thought that probably it's a different country, difficult. It was like, you know, England, they trusted. The England probably is something good, you know.
And it was even, to be honest, back then, it was actually even hard for Ukrainians to get any visa to go to abroad as well.
Exactly.
So for you to have a visa even 1 month, even if it expired, you know that if it expires, I'm going to just go back to Ukraine. But even in 1 month, the things that you could learn in UK, first time, not reading books. Like a lot of Ukrainians learn about UK reading books and watching TV.
Yeah.
Watching stuff TV or reading books. Very different thing. You came here. Okay, let's get that bit. You came to UK. Where did you arrive? Is it Heathrow, Gatwick, Luton? Where?
I arrived at Heathrow.
Heathrow. What happened there? Did someone pick you up? How did you maneuver?
The first time, because I had a school attached to me in Brighton for 1 month.
So wait. I need to understand this. Picture, you arrive in Heathrow.
Yes.
There's
somebody greets me
from school.
From school.
And takes you to Brighton.
Takes me to Brighton by a car.
Okay.
So I'm in the car and I'm passing by and I see Sussex, Essex, and Middlesex, and I'm thinking, what the heck is this country all about? What is happening? Why sex is everywhere?
Yeah.
And I was very innocent about all this, you know, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, this is a bad country.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was really scared. I'm like, if they call something sex, I'm like, oh my God.
Okay.
But then somebody explained to me, and up till now, I'm still kind of having the first impression.
Let me ask you, you arrived there. You arrived there. Did you meet any other Ukrainians like yourself? East Europeans? No. When did you met a Ukrainian here or Ukrainians here? Was it when you were in London?
Yeah.
Where in London? Was it a church? Was it a gathering? Was it someone walking down the street and you think, oh, okay, he's Ukrainian, let me say hello to them?
That's a really good question. You know, that's my favorite. So several weeks I'm in London, so I moved. I'm gonna skip how I actually end up staying. Yeah. And the last minute I sent my documents because of some Turkish girl saying, what are you doing? Why are you going home? I'm like, I really want to go home. I really want to go home. Like a cat looking at the airplanes, you know. But then somebody said, but you can do this. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's try.
So your visa was expiring and this Turkish woman told you, hey, why are you doing? You can extend it.
Yeah, you can extend. You can try.
Okay.
I said,
thank you, Turkish lady. If you're ever listening to this, thank you very much for help letting us stay here. Because if it wasn't for you, she wouldn't be here. Okay.
I wouldn't be. Definitely.
You had 100% time. You wanted to go back to
Yes.
Ukraine. But let me ask you this: why did you want to go to Ukraine? Why? What is it that you didn't like about UK? What is it? Tell me why.
First of all, I didn't expect that. I didn't have a plan in my head that I am gonna stay or I'm gonna run away, because everything was good for me in Ukraine. I was getting famous. I was making my exhibitions, my private exhibitions, photography. I was playing the guitar. I was performing here and there. So I already had a really good standard there in Ukraine. And of course, I had my parents there and everything. And I had my favorite village and my freedom. And I mean, I did not run away from anything. You know, to be honest, I had a good.
It's basically you didn't run away. You were given an opportunity to come to UK to visit and to study, and you took that chance.
I took a chance just to see how it is and just to make my dream come true, because I really pictured myself that I'm going to be in London, you know. And as now I understand that my perseverance level is very high, and I thought that was me personally, but I think probably it is something in Ukrainian nature. is a really somebody said I wanted to get into the concert, and I knew there was like empty spaces, and I said to him, "Can I go? My friend telling me that it's empty." And he's like, no, if somebody comes and if they have tickets. So I said, I will cross the... No. He was very strict. And it was first shock for me that in Ukraine, you could speak to people and doesn't matter. They might give you entrance. Like, okay, yeah, we are half full or whatever, half empty. But he was so strict, so like... And I was like, no, why are you not letting me go? And he's like, I really like your perseverance. I'm like, what is this? It's a nice nice word. And I really liked long words and to learn about them. Yeah, up till now, I like complicated words. I remember them more easier than just normal words. And what we were talking about that I've skipped again, how I decided to...
Yeah, why did you decide to go to Ukraine, even that Turkish lady saying to you for you to stay in the UK?
Yeah, I told you that I really liked and I didn't have understanding of migration, right? So when I sent my documents, everybody was saying that I am crazy, that it's impossible to switch tourist visa to student visa. And I collected all the documents somehow within 2 days. And on the last day when the visa finished, I sent it out to
Home Office.
Home Office, yes, right. And then I thought, okay. If they're not gonna open, at least I stay longer a little bit and see more. And then I came to London, and now I remember. So when the first time I saw some Ukrainian people. So what we have a saying in Ukraine, that the blood is not water, that you can feel that this is your people, that this is Ukraine, or any other probably countries. So what's happened? I lived in Hendon Central, my first location, and I was traveling there by bus to school in Shepherd's Bush. And on the first day, on one of those days, I turned to the Holland Park Road. And all of a sudden, I don't know anything about it. I'm just on the bus. And all of a sudden, my heart started to boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what's happening? What is here? And I start to ask people. And even now, I'm like trembling. And I saw Volodymyr, the statue. But I did not understand that was Ukrainian statue. But when I was passing, I was like, doof, 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 doof. I was trembling. I was like this. I'm like, I'm so sorry. What is this region? What is here? The people looked at me like, what's wrong with you? And somebody said, yeah, this is like Ukrainian embassy here. This is Ukrainian club there. This is...
So for the first time you're learning this, you never knew this?
No, it's on the bus. So all the way, I'm just sitting there, so boring. Streets are ugly. A lot of people, trash, various different weird people, not educated looking. Like, you know what I mean?
So wait. Okay. You on the bus. You felt that energy. You come off somewhere in Holland Park? Did you find about Ukrainian social club?
No, somebody told me, but I was going to school.
So did you go on the bus? Did you go straight to school and then after school you did your research, or did you say, oh, you know what, let me go through the same way tomorrow and then I'll find out more information? What happened?
Yeah, but because I had duties to go to. Long story short, I was in a pair. So I lived with this man for a little bit, with the family, with the child. His wife died. Prior to that, I lived in hostel. I worked only hostel So I didn't get money, but I get the bed, and in coffee shop I got the food, and then later, like in 1 month, somehow I end up being a pair, even though I didn't want to. It's like you live in their house, and you look after everything really, and the child, or so I didn't really like that. So on the way, when I saw this, I had to kind of go back, and I was torn apart because I felt, oh my God, there is like some magical place that has aura of unbelievable energy for me. And then slowly, because I had to go back there because for timing and be there and stay there, and I felt so trapped. And I really, I'm a freedom lover, and I need an exploration. I needed traveling. I need to meet people. So I was like, oh my God, my worst nightmare has come true. I live with some family, and at home. With my mom, with my parents, I always was a very good girl. I was cleaning and cooking and washing and ironing. And 1 month later, like 2 months basically later, in London, I'm standing there and I am doing the same. I am ironing and I'm like, no way, what am I doing here? I remember it was a tsunami and disaster in, what's that? In Thailand or somewhere.
I think it's Bangladesh, no? Bangladesh there, 2000, is it 2011? Oh, 2004, okay.
Yeah.
So wait. So what was your different, because there's a question I want to ask you. How different is your experience of Ukrainians who arrived after, well, that's loud. But okay, you were there. Did you go to the Ukrainian social club?
Yeah. So then I did go. I found them.
You found it. Who was there? Older people, right? Older men.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not like how it is now.
It's really weird. Yes. Then it was a really, really Ukrainian who were born here from the parents that moved long time. What's the first wave of or the second?
1946. Yeah.
The major wave of Ukrainian.
But you met Ukrainians that here were from the 90s. You met Ukrainians of that 90s, early 2000s. Not all of them were old men from 1950s.
No, not many people. It was not many people.
But you went to church. You used to play in a choir down there, no?
But late. It was a little bit later.
It was later, okay.
Yeah, it was still later.
So how did you get in the choir in the Ukrainian church? How did you do that?
That's a good question. Because I started to... Because I play the guitar, and what happened on the Orange Revolution?
2004.
Yeah, I was like playing there next to Volodymyr, a statue, and people started to say, Yuliya, and the guy who was leading it's like, don't forget, it's not this Yuliya, it's Yuliya Tymoshenko.
Okay.
And it was so funny for me. I was feeling, oh my God, Ukrainian people are greeting me. So I'm on my way again, like I'm singing and people see me. I was like, wow, so good. I even forgot that it was Orange Revolution.
Wait. You on the bus, you had this energy and you found out that there's a Saint Volodymyr's statue there. And you obviously found out a few things. Obviously, people have been telling you, and time has been going on. And now you're with the guitar next to Saint Volodymyr's statue, singing.
Yeah.
And when you were doing that, was there a protest in 2004 that happened? And more Ukrainians were standing with you. Now you obviously learning about Ukrainians, right?
Yeah.
Or did you know about Ukrainians then? What was?
Now you digging my memory.
Yes, I am, because I'm interested.
So I'm thinking, how did I end up there? I was on a bus again, somewhere. Don't ask me where to. And it was a Ukrainian guy. And he was like, oh, Ukrainian girl.
Yes.
I was like, wow. And he had the same surname as my grandmother, like the child, like Devicha. Like
okay,
the birth and surname. I was like, wow. All of a sudden, I started to feel a connection. And he was he said, oh, by the way, there is this protest. Would you like to come? And this is where I came. And this is where I came and I saw Volodymyr. And I saw that statue. And I was like, no way. This is this place where I felt so much. And I was like, wow, that was crazy. That this Volodymyr, the same that my heart was pumping, I was singing. Yeah, he's like, bring the guitar. I don't know even, was it the guitar there or something? I don't remember, to be honest.
But you met more Ukrainians on
I
that
met
day.
more Ukrainians, but then I did not communicate with them for some reason. They were older. You know, there was not many of us, like, younger. Maybe I just didn't notice them. A lot of, there were people who were young, but they were born.
They were born here.
And as well, I did not feel like connection too much, you know, even though I was trying to mingle here and there. But then I had a very difficult life. You know, I was struggling a lot to survive, to go on about my day. So I did not think to sort of that somebody else can help me, you know.
But you met people. Okay, maybe they were born here and stuff like that. But you know, from Ukrainians here, even here in how they arrive now, they got all these social media bloggers and so forth, and it's a lot easier to find information now because there's a lot of more of us. But even back then, you couldn't find information of what you're looking through them, or you're like, you know, you're more distance. Yes, there's Ukrainians. Like, wow, there's Ukrainians that living here in UK, London. That's great, wonderful. Now they've got even a statue there. They've got a social club there. Probably a few restaurants around here, London. Is it because you didn't, how can I say, you weren't interested in them, or you had so many problems of your own, you're thinking, you know what, let me deal with them? What was the reason? Or your mindset wasn't there at the moment? Because now you're involved in Ukrainians here, you know, and I think the reason why you know is because it's so much easier. You got social media, you got bloggers, content creators, and a lot of Telegram groups, social media, which is a lot easier to find. You can write Ukrainian in UK and you are guaranteed to find something.
Yeah.
Is it because you weren't interested then, or was it Ukrainians were very different then? What was the reason?
Several things. For me, they were different a little bit. A lot of people that I met when I don't want to say where I met them.
No, you don't have to tell.
What did I do? But a lot of Ukrainians that I met, they were illegal,
yes.
And I was legal. And
there was a differentiality.
Yeah, we had already gap. They couldn't take me as their own. Or you're kind of something else. So I felt ostracized by my Ukrainian people. I came to even Holland Park. Is a lot of older and they spoke very funny the Ukrainian language. I tried to immerse myself there, but somehow the connection started to wither. Yeah, and I don't know if I can say that, but my grandmother, she married into the Bandera area.
Mm-hmm.
And then she left that area. She left the husband because she was scared in Ukraine at that time, long time. So she was telling me about this. And when I came to England, and all of a sudden they praised Bandera, you know, they put
they honored them basically.
They honored him. They had a film about him. At that moment, with the knowledge I had, with my grandmother's horror stories or whatever it was, her personal thing, because she was scared for whatever reason, she was scared, you know. And all of a sudden I came and I felt like, oh my God, I am in the scary place, you know. I felt like that. So it gave me a little bit of a distance as well, because I'm like, oh my, it contradicts to what my grandmother said, and now they all, who are they? Who are they? I started to read why they're praising. It's because that time they all left, and this is the whatever person of contact.
So obviously now I can see the difference. So what about your difference now? The next question is for you: is that how different is the experience of Ukrainians who arrived after 2012 compared to yours? I think the big difference is the fact that now Ukrainians got the possibility to travel. You know, you don't even have to open visas. You know, you said in Ukraine you had to collect so much documents just to come to UK.
Crazy.
Now you don't have to do that because they've got all these programs. And of course, the difference then and now, I think Ukrainians are more connected now It's so, if you honestly, if you're not even if you're not Ukrainian, you can write anything Ukrainian in WhatsApp groups and Telegram to find something in Ukrainian like that. It's so simple. And there's a big difference. And even then you said Ukrainians then was a difference, because I know this, when I met a few Ukrainians then and they found out that you got a British passport or you're legally here, the way they look at you is very different. Because obviously they maybe came here illegally with some visas or not legally. I understood that. I couldn't judge them. Because obviously I knew eventually I wanted them to get their the visas or whatever the passports or whatever the case to stay here in the UK, but they didn't have the opportunity. Because remember, a lot of them that came here made some money and go home to Ukraine. Now it's the different story because of the war. Most Ukrainians come here. Majority stay here. It's very, well, not difficult, but it's up to their decisions to go back, Finn. But now it's legally, and there's a lot of opportunities now for Ukrainians. Not like how it was back before. Before it was a very, very different. And even then, think about it, you came from Brighton to London, then you found Ukrainian community. I'll be honest with you, majority of Ukrainians that used to come to London or UK, they weren't really with Ukrainians. They're kind of integrated with other societies. You know, you said about Saint Volodymyr? I know about the social club of Ukraine. I know that because I went there with my parents one time and there was only Starokie, and there was only old people there.
Old people.
When I saw old people, when it says Ukrainian social club, I thought it was going to be in fun, disco, whatever. I went there, only old people. And I said to my mom and dad, no, hell no, we're not going back here again.
Same,
right?
yeah.
We left. About Saint Volodymyr, I didn't even know there was a statue of Saint Volodymyr in Holland Park until I started doing things for the Ukrainians in 2022.
Wow.
I was walking to Holland Park, to social club, and I was walking back to the station, and I'm thinking, what's that? What is that statue of it? I had to cross and look, and I was like, oh, and guess what? I took a picture on Google, and Google did all the information. I was like, okay, now I understand. Sometimes I tell you, sometimes you just have to be at the right time and the right place to the whatever the case is. Okay, I got this. So Yuliya, let me ask you this. I'm gonna kind of jump to the moment that you're already working in British media, but before you working in British media, just before you working in British media, Finn, how did Britain, UK, portray Eastern Europeans here in the UK? Because when I say Eastern Europe, I'm talking about, again, Bulgaria, Moldova, Romania, Polish, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Russian, Belarus, Ukraine. How did they portray Eastern Europeans when you were watching on TV and so forth? And then once you got into British media, what did you see?
I would tell you from another side. I was not watching really British TV that I could see any Eastern European in a sense. Britain is quite closed for its own sake, or was, I don't know. Now it's opening up the doors and possibilities. They have to include, they be inclusive, and Ukrainians, soon is going to be a lot of films about Ukraine, and England is going to be really tightly broadcasting, or not broadcasting, but making films about Ukraine. So I'm sure that Ukrainian actors should be a kind of at the door already, preparing to be taking, on board. But for me before, as I was doing acting as well, so I was an actress, every time they would typecast me as a prostitute or something else, or like the one that arrived.
Immigrant.
The immigrant, or... and I was like, why do I look like that? Or can't I be just working at least in the office or some kind of role? Of course, I did not have the language, because nowadays I think they like to have an accent. Maybe that time they liked accents, but it looked like they wanted for us to have received pronunciation. They wanted to mold us into them. That was my personal opinion. Maybe I was in the space of that. So I was like, oh my God, I have to work harder in order to be not myself, because as myself, I can be only this. And I was so disappointed. I wanted to be an actress. And I was like, oh my goodness, what can I do? I don't want to play these things. So in order to take a leadership, I decided to be producer, and I thought maybe if I'm gonna be with the camera people, then I can create my own films where I actually can do something.
Yeah.
But so my initial thing was I will work from another side, and I will create for myself the opportunities to be an actor, which is not just a prostitute or something else.
But you had roles. You must have had roles, not just playing prostitution. You must have had roles. You were playing leadership, second leadership, and extra.
Talking about that later, yes. You definitely digging my memory.
Yes.
If I need to write CV, I will ask you to help me. I remember now.
Okay, go on.
So it was at the beginning, yeah, they were inviting me. But then one day, my papa came to London, and he was really against my acting. That's why I was studying something else. And then we're on the underground. I have a call. Oh, hello. And I hear, we want you for our film. We've seen you on whatever agency, We like how you move, because I always like to move kind of, I know how to feel the music or something. And they saw my video that I move really cool, and they wanted me for the project to play a goddess.
Oh, wow. That's better than, it's not a prostitute goddess, is it? It's a goddess, yes?
That's a goddess.
Okay.
And I was like,
yes.
Wow. And my father, who was not really happy before, he was like, oh my God, did they just call you like that? Did you just want? Yes. Well, out of all these people, they chose you. I said, yes. Yeah. I went for audition, and they said later, they told me that I did not have to go to an audition because they chose already. But for their procedure, whatever they needed to have that audition. And then they didn't call me for, 3-4 days. I was like, okay. But then what they said, we were looking for God for you.
God.
we were looking. Why we didn't answer to you faster? Because we were looking for a God to match you.
Oh, yeah, to match you with someone else.
Yeah, so the goddess and the god, I was like, oh my goodness, this is a dream come true. So I was really happy. And they treated me, oh my God, they treated me like goddess, We had an amazing place, and they do know how to treat here people, If you are a little bit, if you're a background artist, they don't take you seriously. And in America, for example, I can speak as a professional. In America, from the background, they can take you as an actress. They liked how you look. Come. In England, if you want to be an actor, you have to study. And if you want to be on a production side on a big films, you have to go straight into a runner. That's it. But you have to study, and you have to do only acting. No background job. They're not allowed. If you say that you done background job, you're not an actor anymore.
Really?
Yes. So they are so specific, and they're so peculiar with their cleanliness of the face. Because if somebody see you that you are doing the background there, that's it.
So you're basically advising. So what you're advising Eastern Europeans and even Ukrainians for this podcast right now is that if someone wants to be an actor here in the UK, they have to only strictly do acting. They can't do anything else.
Yes.
So what about if they have their own podcasting studio? They're not allowed to do something like this?
No, it's
presenting.
This one is a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know about that. But what I'm talking about, and I know a lot of Ukrainian people now involved in background job. In Bollywood, all the Indian stuff. Okay, I've done a lot of enormous amount background job with Tom Cruise, with all these people, and I talked to them, and I had some amazing things going on. Sometimes they would pick me somehow on Avengers, I think. Because I drive and I love driving, and because I'm from Ukraine, and because I was learning how to drive on a Zhiguli, one of those, very tough cars. on the set, they brought a car that 1920s without no whatsoever, like it was very hard to stir. And it was Chris Evans passing by. And I was a background artist, and I was laying down and I was like, oh, so boring. And one of my friends said, I am a driver today. I'm like, how come you don't drive? I am the driver. I should be doing the driving. And he, at the end of the day, he killed 3 cars there on set. And I'm like, and all of a sudden the guy comes, anyone here has a driving license and can drive? I'm like, yes, that's me. At that moment, I was laying down on the grass because it's like long waits and stuff. I'm like, oh, so boring. And I came, and they like, several people came, and they're like, you, come. And they picked me because I looked like this double actress. So I played the double of that actress who was driving that car. They dressed me up in that. But prior to that, I come. There's a guy sitting there, and he was like this. Can you drive? I said, yeah. Can you really, really drive? I said, yeah. Okay, let's try. So I go and I see, oh, it's really like, you need to feel the car. You do need to feel the cars. And I go and I move and I drive. He's like, she can.
On the radio?
Yeah.
On the radio.
On the radio. She can do it. Can you do it again? Let's show me again. So I was driving up and down.
Why was he so excited?
It was his collection car. So he was a collector. Collection. Yeah, he had a huge collection of these cars, old cars, and obviously probably these years, this time of not manual. Nobody could do that. Can you imagine?
So even though the drivers, they had so many drivers, none of them did it.
Nobody could do that.
Me, bro.
So they had to ask other people, like, can anyone drive? And I was like, wow, this all hard work that I've done in Ukraine, driving all these cars, paid off. And I had an amazing time all day. I was on this huge set and talking about the Eastern European. That was the set. They made Krakovia or something. They created Eastern European area, and a lot of Eastern European people were there,
But the reason, I think one of the reasons is that it's because one of the characters is there, Wanda, isn't it? She's speaking Romanian accent, right? From the film. One of the brothers, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Probably
yeah.
one of those. But Chris Evans was passing by, and I turned and that moment, I really like him. It's one of my favorite, like, I don't know, the way how he looks. And I'm sitting there and I am turning the wheel like this with my face off the grid. And he passes by and he's like, whoa, is it difficult? I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, no way. He just saw me in the most ugly face. But anyway, everybody was, they were passerbys, a lot of people, a lot of cars, and I had to drive this car up on the hill, like on the bridge, and down, up and down.
Is that seen in the film?
It's a huge, and they cut it off. But I see the
But you
car.
still got paid for it, no?
Of course, I was paid for the background job. I was paid for the double. And then they took me and did the model of me as well. So I had a good turnout. So I could pay my 1 month's bill.
Wow, from that one job.
One job covered nearly 1 month of my rent.
But they don't pay you straight away. They pay you after what, 3 months or 2 months,
yeah,
right?
But it's always handy. It comes, And I was working quite a lot. So it was like coming.
So was it, from the industry, how are Eastern Europeans usually framed in British media?
Yeah, so they framed as some kind of low class a little bit.
Is that all Eastern Europeans or certain parts of Eastern European? Because Eastern Europe is kind of divided in 3 sections, I guess. You got the Baltics, you got the Balkans, and you got the Ukrainian, Russia, Ukraine. Belarus.
Definitely the Baltic. They take them as gangsters, whatever, or the one that sell women for money, which I met, and somebody nearly got me to do an escort but thanks God I have brains and some other understanding. So it's like a separate thing. Mainly it's one person that fights, or they smoke, or they're rough, or they're very rough.
But why?
So this is, and women are all a little bit like.
But can I ask you this, Yuliya? Because you're obviously in the British media. But why? Why would they do that? Why? Where do they get these ideas from?
That's a good question. It's like collective vision. They probably have seen several people. What I would say that, in my opinion, long time ago, what I was thinking that quiet people, nice people, sort of educated people, they would stay where they live and they would find the job, house, home, and they create that. People who likes to find troubles, who has a little bit of this, the one that had a number two, the marks, very low marks.
Oh, low marks, like.
But they had like this sort of brain and like, I need to create something. So they traveled, and they from other countries, like from Albania, from all this, from Baltics, they were coming here because they were trying to find something, Like quieter people, they would not go too far,
Mm-hmm.
They will be quiet every time. And the one that had like this,
chains
and
jewelry
they would show off, And it's like, who is that? It's Eastern European or whatever, Balkan. This is how they are. So probably from this perspective as well. I was thinking long time ago about this, So there is a possibility, but obviously, I don't know, they analyze us very different, and probably they've seen something.
Yeah, but let me ask you this, so they analyze
Maybe
Eastern Europeans like this, but how do you even, let's say, Eastern Europeans analyze, let's say, British people? Usually, I know when I speak to Ukrainian, always an umbrella, a good gentleman's hat, nice coat, look like Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. Kind of.
But that's just a stereotype.
Dandy.
That's not it actually is in London. I mean, in UK, it's very different.
Yeah, but this is how it works, that English gentleman has
it sells,
a hat.
Though. It sells.
Yeah, and we somehow gain that we are like that.
But let me ask you this, Yuliya. You don't see yourself an immigrant no more. You don't see yourself an immigrant. You're what? You're Ukrainian British now, right? How do you define yourself? You don't define yourself an immigrant no more?
I am the hardcore. My heart is still belongs to Ukraine.
Right.
And I, even though when I travel in other country and I come into England, I'm like,
yes, you feel at home. Yes.
But when I travel from Ukraine to England, I'm like, I do feel always something. I never feel fully relaxed.
Is that your phone?
Yes, it's mine. I never feel fully relaxed. I always a little bit
under pressure?
Why? Under control.
Why?
Under control.
Why? This is your home now. This is UK. You've been here for over 21 years.
But I don't believe. Like, I feel like I'm intruder.
Well, you've done really well for yourself. You came here, I would say, like an immigrant. Nobody even knew who Ukraine is on the map, unless you showed them where it is and you fit on the map. Yeah. You've done really well. You went through hardship. I know. Obviously, we're not going to talk about the whole story here in the podcast because it'll take a lot long. You found Ukrainians here. Yes, it wasn't the best how it went. You met a few people here.
Yeah, I had bad experience and then I started to avoid them.
Yeah, of course, you started avoiding them. And you went to university here. You finished your degree in media, advertising. Yeah. You work in one of the best.
Actually, not in advertisement, in production, creative production media.
Creative media production. And now you're working as a producer in one of the biggest companies here in the UK. So there's a lot of experience. Like even you've just explained to us, you worked as an actor in Avengers. That's interesting because I think a lot of people when they'll be listening to this are thinking, you know what, I actually do want to go into acting, or I am doing acting. How does it actually work? Now, if they're Ukrainian and they're listening to this in Ukrainian, Now they know they can contact you. Don't contact me, guys, because I got nothing to do with it. Contact her instead. I leave all the social medias downstairs, down as well.
Yeah.
I wanna talk a bit further. I wanna talk.
I actually wanted to add about the actors, right?
Yes, go on. Go on.
So people, especially Ukrainian girls, boys now, who works in the background artists, they everyone anyway say, oh, I'm an actor, I'm doing this job. Don't put this on CV. You can't put this on CV if you want to pursue acting career. Just never mention even that you are on the background.
When you say background, what do you mean? Like extra?
Background, extras, yeah.
Or you can't put that in your...
No.
But how are you supposed to get acting experience?
Through agent, through auditions, through education. And as a director myself, I do castings, and I know exactly straight away this person had education, this one not. And I love working with those who has an understanding. Some people, they have talent. They need a little bit of understanding, something, how it works. But majority of the time, I can see straight away that this is not an educated actor. And this is very terrible to work with.
Give me two things that you see straight away that you know that person is not talented but not educated actor. What do you think straight away pops up? Is it his CV? Is it when he comes to audition? What is it?
For example, if they come to an audition, if they get to that stage, they're a non-actor. They try too hard. And the best advice I've ever received when I was on the acting side, I was very scared of directors, all this, when I went on audition. And I've been told, just be yourself. And I was always like this. And then director saw me, look, you have such a bubbly, cool presence about you. Why were you not like this on the audition? I'm like, really? So non-actors, they are trying very hard. They're like apologetic. But hey, directors need you. They need actors. They need, first of all, is a personality. How well they can listen to what director's saying. If they're not following what you've asked, that's one bad sign, because in a time. Big productions, they don't look, oh yeah, let's do another shot, let's take another take. No. And another thing, when they read from the paper, like you give the script, you are given the script, with this actor skill, and this is a skill, even I up till now is difficult to tackle. So Meryl Streep, she's good with this. Yeah. Somebody takes the script and they turn it like they embody straight away. And you feel like they're not reading, but they're saying. And this is the best skill. So confidence, personality of yourself, following directions, and reading this like you're feeling it. And of course, another thing, you can give different variations. I ask, okay, this is good. Now, can you be more like louder, more emotional? Normally, if there's not an actor, vocal range has to be up and down, different variation. Not monotonous.
Yeah, constantly. Yeah.
And non-actors, can you do it differently? La 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 la. Okay, fantastic. Can you do another one? La 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 la. Okay.
That's boring, yeah.
You think, okay, can you do completely different? And they la 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 la, and you think, okay, bye, thank you so much. That's it. They lost their chance because.
So let me ask you this, because obviously you do castings as well.
Yeah.
So how much do accent, name, and background really matter behind the scenes? Because you do go through castings and you do look at people's names. Does that affect you when you get to choose them?
Yes, unfortunately.
So when you see, let's say you see a Ukrainian name or surname, what's the first thing that pops into your head?
These days, I'm like, Ukrainian, come here. I'm like, I take all Ukrainian possibility. Do you want to be in this ad? Okay, come.
Why is that? Why is that?
I just don't know. I don't want to support, help, because I know how bad it is when you're not supported, when nobody is there for you, you know? So, and now I'm in the position where I can help my way, you know, my whatever I can do, and I can involve them. And
don't you think that becomes non-inclusive though? You're not including others.
No, they are already automatically included. Yeah, but in opportunity where I can help, and if it's matching as well. So what we have this versatile, we are like blessed, and in a way, in this world, in the England, we look very similar to English in a sense. Yeah. So if we don't speak, we kind of, even though they say that you're Eastern European. Like, how do you know?
People can tell. Even you might look white, but people can straight away know that by your accent you're not.
But still, you can kind of blend in a sense.
If you're quiet.
If you're quiet, definitely. Yeah. So I work in advertisement, and obviously for the voices, unfortunately, we take only very British. For the British market, you have to have that. I tried myself even to do, but no.
And what happened?
I don't know. I didn't pursue that because I was like, I have an accent. So I'm still kind of, I have
even
an
21
accent.
years here, you know, you can hear it.
Even though maybe I'll try to sneak in somewhere. Maybe they would like the accent, you know. I'll try that. We'll see. But no, for the British audience, they want, doesn't matter who you are, what you are, but if you have this British, whatever. But for the visuals, as I said, now we have to have all the possible varieties. And like the other day, we filmed in the farm, the blueberry farm, and it was a lot. And they normally, what we do, they pay for the actors and we find actors. But this option was, we'll provide someone for the video. And normally I don't like that because I had horrible experience, especially with children who is not actors, and it's like horrible. You ask them to do something and they start to cry. I'm like, no, you're an actor now. So, and this farm, it was Ukrainian people there.
Really?
So I was like, a Ukrainian woman, and she looked really nice. And I was like, I want to have this. But at the same time, I gave the opportunity to other nationalities who were like from Uzbekistan and something else, and they spoke a little bit Russian. And I said, okay, you as well. So I gave the opportunity, you know, to include everyone, because they were like someone I can relate to. I'm like, they're good. And it was, that was a husband and wife, the young couple. But she was very like, she was wearing the traditional clothing. And she looked a little bit like she might not work well with the, so I did kind of audition, and I felt so terrible that I asked, do you mind that if I pair your husband with another girl? She's like, no, it's fine. And I felt so terrible. I was like, no way, I'm breaking up the couple, you know? And they were like, and they were very good together. And this girl, actually, the one that I picked, she was like doing kind of like an actor should do. She was giving the suggestions, and I was like, okay, cool, call that, you know. So director is one thing, but actor, they give suggestions, they see their own visions as well. And this is very nice to work with a professional actor, is when they give you different opportunities and different takes, and it's like, yeah, hold that. And then you need to stick to one action every time when I'm doing from a different directions. And that is as well the skill, because you need to know that here I'm sitting like this with this word. And now when the camera is there, I'm doing the same. Otherwise, very difficult. So, but I love casting.
So what about yourself? Have you ever felt you had to prove yourself more than others?
Yeah.
Was this before 2022, right?
Yeah.
Not now.
Yes, of course. I think I was like, I always believed that Ukraine will show themselves. I was like, no way that nobody knows about Ukraine. No way that nobody knows Ukraine. The Ukraine will show its, show off.
When does being foreign work
Like that, no?
when does foreign work in your favor, and when does it work against you?
That's such a good question. Where did you get that from?
I have to do research.
This is very interesting. It worked really well in Ukraine.
Being a foreigner, okay.
In what way? I went somewhere in Petri, in the mountains, and I took my English friend with me, and we were somewhere where we're not allowed to be, but I really wanted to see. And he's running, hey, stop! I'm like, don't say I am Ukrainian, I don't understand. And he came and we started to speak English. And for foreigners, I do speak English really good.
Yeah.
When I was in Indonesia, are you from England? I'm like, oh my God, you just gave me the most amazing compliment in the world. I was like,
Because
when
you're in England, you know English. Yeah.
So when I speak to English people, I'm a bit like, okay. But you know what? When I speak English with my Ukrainian fellows, I feel more intimidated. I don't know why. Always when I spoke, I'm like, am I speaking correctly English? What are they gonna think? I don't know why I have that. Always I felt a little bit like I am not good enough with the English. But with the English people, I always asked, so how is that? How is that? Do I sound English? Years pass by, my friends who remain still with me, I'm like, do I sound better now? Yeah, your English is good. So when I'm tired, I'm very bad. But
Let me ask you about your industry. What's one truth about the industry people rarely talk about?
I'm still on the other one, the disadvantage and advantage thinking. What's advantage in here? Can I answer that?
Mm-hmm. When does it work? Okay, when does it work against you?
So when it works against me, it's when I want to integrate with the English society, because I really wanted to kind of be as well part of this society.
Well, you think you're not part of the English society? Been in for 21 years, you work in one of the best industries in the UK, British media.
Still, whether it's because of the characteristics of mine, or whether, for example, if I work with like English cameraman and I am directing, unless, I don't know, I present myself really strongly, they can kind of eat me alive. Maybe it's a woman thing as well. So it's like, I am a woman. Before I was quite beautiful, and I am a foreigner. So it's like lots of things they might put me...
Really? They will judge you just because you're a woman and you speak with an accent?
Yeah, I felt like that. It's like...
You would get that reaction, or you feel that reaction from people?
Yeah, so like, where are you from? And when I had my French friend next to me, and when we traveled, he's like, oh, where are you from, guys? I'm from France. Oh, from France. Da, 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 da. Where are you from? Ukraine. Ukraine. France. I'm like, oh, why?
But even me, I usually ask people where they're from. The reason why I do it is because I know it's not nice to put people in boxes, but in reality, we do put people in boxes, because if you said to me you're from France, I'll be thinking, shit, she's from France. Where's she from in France? Does she like wine? Does she like cheese? Again, the stereotype that comes in as well. But I'm like, okay, she's from France. Now it makes me easier some way. I know how to speak to a French person, even though I don't speak to a lot of French people. They don't really, I only see French people coming just for tourism.
Yeah. I don't know, with accent and where I can fit in. For example, it's not many doors are opened where I would want to be opened, because I am not originally from England, or not that I have that perfect English.
But does it really matter though? As long as you're a professional in the UK. I think it probably matters which doors you want to be, what doors you want it to be open for you.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's what matters. I don't
because
think.
nowadays everybody speaks like you are on underground, and he can have a very Indian accent and like doors are opening, get out, everyone, and everyone is okay. You know, now it's all maybe it's from the past times. I am like that, and I think I need a therapy in this kind of language barrier, Britishness, that I kind of sneaked into this space of England. So I need some kind of therapy. I actually did have a little bit of therapy, and I told my therapy coach, I said, look, I'm suffering so much. I don't feel like I belong here in a sense of that I'm obtrusive. Because I get along with English people very well and I love them and I have friends. But for example, if I meet Ukrainian person, straight away their heart is opened. When I meet, and I do have a lot of British, like a lot of English people who my heart is opening. And I was friends with Polish people a lot. But now I am so happy, even though it's a tragic situation, what's happening, that a lot of Ukrainian who is educated, who has a vision, energy, they come here, they do stuff. And I'm like, wow. Because before the war, I wanted to go back. I was considering to go back. But it's difficult because when I go to Ukraine, I miss England. When I'm in England, I miss Ukraine. And it never was like relaxed until the war.
When was the last time you went to Ukraine?
This summer.
Oh, this summer. Okay,
Yeah.
Recently, basically.
Yeah. So when the war started, I had to sort of readjust again, and that I have to stay here for a moment again. But this is another level now. Now I feel here more like home, because I feel there is a danger there, right? And I experienced a big danger. Next to my home, it was a blast that I woke up. So I started to feel like England a little bit like protecting me, you know?
But before the war, let's say before the war, did you want to stay here in the UK, or you actually were also...
I wanted to. I was considering to go back.
Okay, but now because of the war going on, do you still want to go back, or do you actually want to stay here now? Where's your future? Do you see your future more in the Ukraine or here in the UK? You've been here for 21 years. It's a long time.
I think both, but socially and professionally, I feel here more confident. When I come to Ukraine, I don't know, I'm like, what am I going to do? I have a different level of understanding. I have a different level of seeing things. And I try to work there because I stayed for several months at home. My mom said, okay, here you go to work. And they put me in like a restaurant administrator, but it's huge, like a complex. And all of a sudden, because I worked in different places, I worked in restaurants, I never actually waited like professionally, but I did administration, I did work in the park. I kind of know the quality, you know, I've been in the places where I saw how they present everything, you know. And when I was an administrator and I had to tell how it is, I was like, oh my God, it's not near how it's in England. And I was like, and I started to say to them, this is not this is not that. And they hated me, you know. And as well, I spoke English and I could not speak English because I love.
But your English is good, because I speak more like a slang. Because where I grew up in Northeast London, and I took all the slang. I probably can speak proper English, but it would take me a little while. Yuliya, I'm not
studying Shakespeare.
Yeah, Shakespeare. You know, I studied acting in college. I studied acting, yeah. I did Shakespeare. I had to learn Stanislavski and all these things, but never went further. I didn't go to drama school or university, because you know what? Just like your dad never believed in you, my parents didn't believe in me. They said, you're never going to be no Leonardo DiCaprio. Just go to construction, learn something with your hands, and you got stability. Now I'm 34 years old, and I have to be honest with you. I'll tell this to everyone out there. If you love doing what you do, carry on doing it, because eventually if you don't do what you love to do, you're gonna become an alcoholic, you turn into drugs, alcohol, gambling, distractions. You're gonna do something that you love to do, or something similar, you know, like you said about acting. I didn't even know this is something you taught me, is that if you're doing acting, just do acting, don't do any other work involved. But I know actors are singers.
Not any other work, but the background. No. You can sing, but still, if you are really professional and you have an agent, you have to always consult them. Like, for example, let's say even voiceover, they not agreeing to do. I said, look,
wow,
this is just a voice. Who will understand that it's you? Don't tell anyone. Just make money. You know, one line, 100 pounds. Go, live your life. And they said, no, it's too little for me. No, if my agent would ever hear that I've done such a thing, that's it. This is the end of my career. I'm like, oh my days.
Wow.
Yeah. And you have to be prepared
Yuliya,
for the luck. Do you know, you have to be prepared for the luck.
Yuliya, I just want to say, I want to end it here. I just want to say thank you very much for being on my show. Thank you for being on episode 2. I want to say, where can we find you? Because I know I found you on Instagram. I know you have a LinkedIn. But which platforms would you like people to contact you?
I like Instagram.
Instagram. So I'll give Instagram.
Yeah.
This is my outro for you. You want to listen to this. This is good. Look, Yuliya Fytsaylo is someone who didn't just observe British media from the outside. She worked inside it. She works inside it. As a Ukrainian who's lived in UK for 20 years, her story reflects what many immigrants experience, but rarely articulate. Being integrated, productive, creative, and still positioned as other. Her work across filmmaking, media production, and advertising, and the arts given her a rare perspective on how stories are shaped, softened, and sometimes erased. This conversation isn't about one person's journey. It's about what happens when identity meets power, visibility, and narrative control. And that's why Yuliya's voice matters. So episode 10. Thank you very much, everyone, and Slava Ukraini.
Thank you, Heroям Slava.